Passion, drive, and patience. The formula of winning championships is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything for you to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED lights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has it covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices that you want. It's easy to make your car the MVP it needs to be and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Again, ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
No one's actually checking us.
Nobody's, well, no, because just at all, hopefully. Do you usually leave all this pre-roll, deadpan, behind-the-scenes shit on the podcast, or just sometimes you cut it off, or it's just like it matters what it is?
For Operation Pigmentation, I lead in and end with the off-air conversations that we have.
Okay.
It's just I'm an artist, Bubba, so.
Sure, right. That's why I asked, because you're an artist.
Yeah.
Flim-flamming one way, the next way.
There's no flim-flam.
No, it's just however the artist feels, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
One day you open up one way, one day you open up the next day. That's a true artist.
I mean, all the podcasts open up with you doing an read for eBay Motors.
And there's my artist effect where I just drowned out when I don't want to hear some shit. Okay, here's me being an artist. Man. Shut up.
I don't know how the fuck you would have done this over Zoom today.
Yeah, there's no way. When you called me an hour ago and say, hey, I'll pipe you in from your phone. I'll fucking mix minus it with my laptop, Willie, and we'll do an emergency yippee. I'm like, can you just come to the fucking studio, buddy?
Well, listen, I think I said I'd come to the studio.
Yeah.
I think it's important to be, do one of these on a Sunday.
Well, yes. By the way, it's Sunday at exactly noon. And we have a very, 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 very important emergency breaking news podcast that we feel necessary to give to you on a Sunday.
I would have done a podcast last night if you didn't abandon me in Ybor, but that's for Monday.
Listen, fuckhead, I didn't abandon you.
Oh, yeah.
I was never more than 20 feet away from the entrance. I parked it pretty much right there at that first pole and talked to some people, talked to Babyface. All you had to do was just tap me on the shoulder and say, you ready, Sponjo? That's all you had to do.
No, I didn't want to.
That's all you had to do.
I didn't want to take you away from I thought you would be ready to go. And then I figured you were probably talking to a lot of, Big Buck was there, Gary Cantrell. There's a lot of, people that traveled.
But rather than to text me that you're outside and ready to go, which I had my phone in my pocket because I wasn't really paying attention to my phone. I at that point had been phoned out, been glued to my phone on the way over there with all this Trump stuff that's happening. So I was actually trying to give some quality time. Had you just tapped me on the show, I don't call that an abandonment.
No.
I call that lack of responsibility on your part.
Well, listen,
because I would have very easily loved to have gone with you.
Oh, I know. I don't consider it a lack of really anything. I texted you and Erica, and I figured when I didn't hear from you guys that you were having a good time, and I didn't want to press that, so that's why I just said I'll get an Uber and get out of here, just because I wanted to try to get home before my daughter and the puppy and everybody went to bed.
That's great.
I was just in a.
So don't put that on me. You're automatically, as you know what, as the artist that you are, you're trying to put that on me. No. We got a breaking news. You know what? We're arguing about stupid shit, and we got an emergency going on in our country right now.
Yeah, this should be bringing us together.
Oh, I was already been in a fight with Erica. She's like, this is going to bring us together. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Wait, America or you and her?
No, not us. America.
She's so beautiful.
She's like, oh my God, this is going to bring us together. I go, the fuck it is. It's going to absolutely be it's going to be a fucking shitstorm.
I thought for a second it might bring us together, and then I saw online now we got conspiracies. There's DEI stuff. There's
I am now. Well, here, let me do. I can't even get through the fucking sounder. Stand by. Hold on. Hi, it is The Bubba the Love Sponge Show. And we're not even calling this a Clem and... Well, this could be a Clem and Kush. This is a Clem and Kush emergency. We're fucked. Breaking news podcast, okay? It's on Sunday. I've never done hardly any content ever on Sunday. I get a text from Seth. He's like, I think we need to whip together something. My initial desire was to put this live on YouTube, but Macho Man's at a different fucking radio tower. Lummy's probably hungover, and Rhett's playing DJ over on Rumble. So us two dumb fucks, me and Seth, don't know how to turn us on YouTube, which as of next week, that will no longer be the case because I already told Macho Man, you need to teach me and Seth on how to be able to fire some shit up.
No, that's perfect. And, I'm happy having this as an exclusive podcast. That was, kind of my idea in the first place.
Exactly. So we'll release this as a podcast. I'm sure that probably... Listen, and you know what? If you could see me right now, I got two fucking fuck you fingers pointing to the camera. Not that I'm on camera. If you don't think we're going to talk politics on Monday, you can suck my dick. And better yet, just go ahead and burn all of your Bubba Army shit. Burn it all. Just like fuck off. Leave the show if you don't think we're not going to talk politics for a long time. For a long time to come.
I mean, Bubba, I don't even think this is. This isn't standard politics.
No.
This is not. This is this is once in a lifetime shit. I haven't been alive for a president getting shot at.
I have. I've been on the radio.
Well, good for you.
No. What I'm saying is, this is such a rare occurrence. The last time that a president was shot was in the mid '80s. I don't know, it was '86 or '80. I don't know what year it was, but it was Ronald Reagan with John Hinckley Jr. outside of a hotel. And
did Reagan take a bullet?
Yeah, Reagan almost died. So that was the last time that our country, I don't know how many years ago, faced anything like this. And it wasn't for derelict of duty. This guy just slipped through the cracks, this John Hinckley Jr., much like this fucking, what's this guy's name, John Cook?
Or I don't even know, man.
Thomas Cook, this fucking 20-year-old guy. Now,
I've seen him identified as like a Middle Eastern man. I've seen him identified as a skinny white man that looks like Tuttle. I don't know who the real guy is.
He's basically a blonde-haired Tuttle.
Okay,
is what he really is. And so we are. And listen, I'm now declaring myself all fucking in. I am all in, and I am not going to go read the Reddit fucking pages. I am not going to go and look at watch chat. I'm just going to do my show.
There you go.
I am so fucking adamant about not supporting Donald Trump as the next president. No. About calling out what happened here. About truly fucking calling out and holding people accountable for what happened here. Now, if by doing that, it tends to be pro-Trump, so fucking be it. So fucking be it.
I feel like... And by the way, did Trump get hit by a bullet, or I heard he got hit by a glass from his teleprompter? Do you know, Bubba? Did you hear that at all?
No. See,
I don't know.
No, he got hit by a bullet.
It was okay.
And here's the deal. Everybody, nobody can even report the motherfucker consistently because nothing in life now. I could literally walk up to you, Seth, shoot you in the face, kill you, and.
That's depressing.
And it would be like it just couldn't be as easy as Bubba got mad, used his little T-Rex arms to go shoot Seth in the face. No, they break it down into Seth caused it by fucking constantly, fucking with Bubba, and Bubba didn't know the gun was loaded. I mean, let's look at fucking Alec Baldwin, who just got completely set free, and he shot somebody in the face.
He killed someone.
Yeah, he killed somebody. And because procedurally, the prosecution, fucked up They just let this guy go. So I have no fucking faith. I have no faith in the judicial system.
Well, they forgot to introduce some evidence, I think, to the defense, Bubba, so they called it.
Yeah, procedurally, they had every right to call it, but I've also seen a lot of people saying that she called it a mistrial, and they could have,
done it again or something?
They could have done it again. Like, she took the most extreme stance on it, and she, it could have been where, they did it again. But that being said, this isn't just as, this is what happened. There was a gunman, and we're going to break it down. There was a 20-year-old gunman who now I've been told whose father is in the mental health industry. There's a 20-year-old gunman who got on top of a building that was taller and more elevated presidential risk number one is when you have the bad guy that's trying to get at the president that's at a higher elevation than he is.
Do you remember initially, Bubba, when I came over here and you, me, and Stein and Paige and Erica were all talking about it? We thought it would be we thought it was somebody that was in the crowd.
In the crowd.
That just started shooting.
Yes.
But we had no idea that it was somebody from long distance.
Which just goes to show you, man, as you start disseminating, information where, things start kind of paring itself down initially. You hear the president get shot, and you automatically assume it's short-range Willie, and we were wrong. We were completely wrong. Then as the night wore on, more and more intel came to fruition, and here's what we know. Here's what we truly do know, I think, is that a 20-year-old nut job, white, got a ladder. See how
he's dead, right?
Yeah, he's dead. Now, again, the breach of the derelict of Secret Service duty here astonishes me, and that.
But you're saying the women are the ones that dropped the ball on this.
No.
Are we getting there? Are we working there?
We're gonna work there.
All right,
yes.
sorry. I'm all over the place, Bubba.
The head of the Secret Service, appointed by the great Joe Biden, who I absolutely fucking despise now. You might want to call your mom and tell her not to listen to the show.
Listen, why is
January?
My mom's not the only person that voted for Joe Biden.
No, but her and she and I are very close.
I know it's okay, man. I'm
okay.
Yeah.
So Joe Biden hires this fucking Kimberly Cheadle or whatever the fuck her name is. She's a fucking idiot. I got audio from her. I'm going to play here. And she declares upon, 3.5 years ago that by the year 2030, the Secret Service is going to be women. It's going to be all women, and they're heavily involved. And the Secret Service, our current U.S. Secret Service, is heavily involved in the DEI program, which stands for what? Diversification? I don't even what.
I don't. I think it just means
hire more blacks and women is what it means. Basically,
I think so.
Yeah, that's what it means. And so they heavily. Now, mind you, I have gotten a great deal of my intel from a former Secret Service person who's a very good friend of mine. Who even I asked him, I said, "Can you even go on the air if I put you on the voice disguiser?" And he's like, "No, I just can't. I cannot." He just most recently retired when Biden took office because he knew that this was the woman. Everybody knew that Biden was going to appoint this woman to run the Secret Service, and the Secret Service is at an all-time low in morale. They got a 48% drop rate amongst veterans that work there with over 15 years experience. And they got a 30, and again, she has vowed to make the Secret Service 30% women by 2030. Now, what you don't know is this. The Donald Trump detail have asked for, on the last 4 of his outdoor appearances, double the amount of Secret Service that he's getting. Currently, this female head of the Secret Service has been giving Donald Trump. There's 2 layers. There's 2 different levels of Secret Service protection. One,
I want the deluxe package.
You want the premium.
Give me the works, baby.
Right,
with the air freshener at the end.
You want the platinum package?
Oh my God! And yeah, sign me up for the yearly membership.
You don't want the Uber. You want the Uber. You don't want the Secret Service. You want the Secret Service X.
Yes, please.
Yeah, okay. Well, here's the rules. The sitting president, if you're a current president or an incumbent, you get the highest level of Secret Service protection available. If you're just not an incumbent or sitting president, you get the lower echelon level of Secret Service. She has been giving Donald Trump the lower echelon because for the first time in the history of our country, we have the opponent is actually a former incumbent and president. So he deserves the platinum, we'll call it the platinum package. And she's been giving him the bronze package.
For $15 a month.
Right. So that's So I'm talking to the Secret Service guy, and he said there should have been at least 4 counter sniper stations, not 2. And this is a complete lack of duty, and this is a complete lack of planning.
Do they comb the area beforehand?
They're supposed to. If you got the platinum package, you got the drones, you got to comb the area. You have 1,000 yard perimeter instead of 100. And it's just.
Can you hire, like, if Trump wasn't comfortable, and I understand, going to these larger rallies and wanting to double it, can you hire your own, like, high level security?
I mean, yeah, but you shouldn't have to.
I know, I agree. I'm just saying, like, I would put safety over everything if I needed to spend the money.
Here's the deal. He shouldn't have to.
I agree.
Because he is a former president.
No, I agree. I just think this is, I think security should be doubled for anybody that's ever been the president right now.
So we know that a 20-year-old nut job dressed in either khaki or camo took a ladder. Now, how do you get a fucking ladder into this event, scaled the building, had a long rifle with him, supposedly had set up potentially some bombs around the area that did not detonate?
Really?
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing too from my Secret Service guy.
Wow.
There was suspected what's they call
suspicious?
that? Suspicious packaging that he supposedly had laid out around various parts of where he was near that building.
How far away was this guy?
He was exactly 100 meters, which is about 323 feet, which is just a little bit larger. A football field from end zone to end zone is 300 feet.
Wait, so that's a good shot though. If he got Trump's ear,
if Trump
from that far away,
if Trump had not, and we'll watch the video here momentarily. If Trump had not, as he was talking, if he would have been looking forward, which you normally do, but he was actually looking to the side because there was a big monitor over there, and he was looking at the side. If he didn't have his head cocked, and then if you notice, literally 1 second before the bullet it hits his ear, he kind of makes a little head movement, just like when you hey, why don't you? And he made a little bit of head movement, and that's probably what saves his life. Because let's be honest, if that bullet that grazed his ear, if his head is forward thinking, that takes the back quarter of his skull, and you got a JFK situation.
Yeah, you would, Bubba. We would have seen a president's head get blown off.
Yes.
on TV.
Yes, and think about what that does to our country.
I'm trying to understand guns. Talking about a guy firing from 100 yards away and hitting the target. That's like, is that professional stuff?
Kinda. No,
and he was just 20.
Now here's the thing. I have been tweeting crazy because how do you not? How do you not, as you're getting the information in and as you're trying to decipher what's real and what's not?
Oh, you're angrier than Kid Rock.
I'm so fucking mad. But I'm not mad where I'm going to say, one, MAGA or supporters of Donald Trump need to retaliate.
No, it's not because
No, but that's what you as a responsible person that's mad about this, you must say that. Because the Democrats have been saying the opposite.
Oh, you're saying this is a Democrat-Republican thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I didn't know.
I got sound bites that I'm going to play, including the President of the United States, Joe Biden, yesterday when this happened, was on a phone call with his major donors and others, and it was being broadcast.
Morgan.
And he's on the phone with John Morgan, and he said, I don't think you ever use these two terms together. We need to put Donald Trump in the bullseye. Now, that may have played well in January or even 5 weeks ago, but when you use the word bullseye with Donald Trump hours before he gets shot, I think that's not necessarily the message that you would want out of your lips, that the media that's reporting this correctly can.
I get what you're saying, but I think we're going to have to get some more background on the shooter and the kid to find out like how long this was, like what he was motivated by.
Seth, he's dead. And Candace Owens said it best. You know what? He died at 6:40 p.m. I watched the 12:30. You probably were in bed. I was glued to the TV. And oddly enough, I'll tell you this. Can I tell you the network that had the best coverage on this?
Yes.
CNN. CNN had the best coverage on this. Now, not their opinions on Donald Trump, but the logistics of what happened and where the shooter was and how it may have had, and they actually, Fox kind of used it as a big rally.
To prop him up.
Yeah, a big rally and deal. And so I didn't watch Fox. I deliberately watched CNN so I could get the facts of what happened, not the opinions of the host and what this does for Donald's political career.
Yeah, when it happened is a good time to let us kind of explain. Because, again, I don't even know, Bubba.
I know a lot because I stayed up till 1 in the morning. Going through all of what I could go through. And don't forget, I have a man that just
you got a man?
3 years ago retired from the Secret Service with 25 plus years service that's been giving me information as well. So early on my Twitter, I'm like, this is an inside job. This is a government job. Now here's some of my questions. The reason why I came up with this is an inside job and this and that is because of just this one theory. If you see the guy that's responsible, the counter-terrorist sniper that's behind Trump on a rooftop, he has the bad guy bead locked in. He's the guy that killed the bad guy. So my question is this. If you got the guy bead locked in, why do you let him get 3 or 4 rounds off before you smoke him? Don't you smoke them?
You smoke them before?
Yeah.
Well, why don't I don't.
So if it's a
so he 100%. I know there's been videos out, but the guy, the Secret Service agent who shot him, he was watching him.
Yeah. Did you not see the video?
No, I did, but it's only focused on I only see the Secret Service agent. So. I
know, but you can see. No, you can see. I'll show it to you here in a minute. You can see Donald Trump talking. You can see Donald Trump get hit. Then the guy smokes him. It's all within a second. The guy gets off 3, then gets smoked. Well, you can't smoke a guy from over a football field away if you don't have him bead locked in already. The guy just couldn't have determined in a second where these 3 rounds are coming from and smoked the guy and the guy only gets 3 or 4 rounds. Now, let's also not forget there's 2 people that died from this.
There are 2?
Yes.
I heard about one.
There one that died at the scene, and there was one in intensive care who died. I could be wrong on that.
Well, just so you know, they started a GoFundMe for the people that were injured yesterday, and they're trying to raise, I think, $1 million. Kid Rock just donated $50,000.
Well, so here's why I initially thought it was an inside job. Now, will we at least all agree to this? That more than ever during our lifetime, we have seen the weaponization of the government. Biden has weaponized the government. When Biden had documents he wasn't supposed to have, they calmly went to his Delaware home and got them. When Donald Trump had documents that he wasn't supposed to have, they sent 32 agents in the middle of the night at gunpoint to go get him. When all the January 6th stuff and all the people that have gone to prison for that, all the upcharging and the Alvin Bragg, the district attorney of New York, runs his actual position while running for that office was, I'm going to put Donald Trump in jail. I mean, we have now seen the weaponization of the government more so. Well, probably they haven't seen it like this since JFK got assassinated. I'm a true believer that the U.S. government killed John F. Kennedy.
Okay. That's nothing I've ever really studied or paid attention to. So do you feel like it's an inside job?
I did it first. And since speaking with my Secret Service guy now, I will, on the air tomorrow, change my position to it is kind of an inside job, but it's more of a derelict of duty by the head of the current Secret Service and her policies and her denials of giving Donald Trump the same type of protection that Joe Biden gets because he's a former president. She's treating him as if he's a schlep boy it's not. He's truly an incumbent. He's a former president that's seeking re-election. That's the definition of incumbent. And it's the first time in the history of our presidency that this has happened, where a former president was the president, lost, and then came back and did it and reapplied, so to speak.
I know there's a video that's reapplied. I know that there's a video going around right now that shows when they're putting Trump in his car, and then there's a Secret Service agents, the women, someone's can't get their gun in their holster,
right.
Someone's putting on their sunglasses, and I know everybody's making fun of them, but I just want to just throw this out there. Not. Is there a chance, from what I saw yesterday, when a president gets shot at, the way that he gets protected is a bunch of Secret Service agents jump on top of him, essentially saying, kill me and not the president? So I'm wondering if any of these people were still possibly rattled from the fact that
none of those three. One of those three were part of the inner shield that jumped on top of them. The other two were ancillary women that were already part of the on the side of the stage, which they had an evacuation route. They always have an evacuation route if something goes awry. Those two of those three agents were stationed over there. One of those three agents was one of them that jumped on top of them. But the other two were just over there by the vehicle.
Okay.
Here, this story, can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. This is what my Secret Service guy referred me to. When I start coming up with all these theories.
This guy right here?
No.
Oh, the guy we're watching?
No, my Secret Service guy sent me this clip. And he said, watch this clip.
Okay.
This is more along the lines of what happened than the federal government killed him. This is probably more along the lines of how it went down. So this clip was referred to me by a former Secret Service guy. Okay?
Got it.
24/7 for years trying to stop him, but that didn't work. Then they impeached him in Congress based off a kooky conspiracy theory, but that didn't work either. So they indicted him on some trumped-up charges and convicted him in a kangaroo court, but that didn't work either. And so then they resorted to their final plan, trying to assassinate Donald Trump. But fortunately, that didn't work, and instead provided the world with some of the most iconic photos of all time, showing Donald Trump surviving an assassination attempt and rising triumphantly. But the liberal media didn't want to admit what they themselves had incited and had been hoping for years. And so CNN's initial report was that the Secret Service rushed Trump off the stage after he fell at a rally. There are a lot of screenshots floating around of the initial reports of the attempted assassination, and it's impossible to tell whether or not those are memes satirizing the media, how they would downplay it and blame President Trump, or whether they're the actual headlines from the liberal media. And being your trusted media analyst, I double and triple check the facts. And I can tell you that this is an actual headline and a real report from the Cloud News Network. USA Today reported that Trump was removed from the stage by the Secret Service after loud noises startled the former president and the crowd. Of course, all of the mainstream media had correspondents in attendance at the event, and anybody who was there, anybody who saw the video of what happened knew.
I mean, if you're there, Seth, if you're there and you're in the front couple rows, because that's where they put the media, so you can get the best shot and stuff like that. But hold on, but if you're there, Seth Kushner, and you're covering this for USA Today or CNN, and you have to now call back to your news director and explain to him what just happened. Because I forget, it was less than 3 or 4 minutes from the time that his ear got grazed to the time that he was in the vehicle and out. I think it was 3 or 4 minutes. So, maybe you hit the deck for 3 or 4 minutes, but you kind of witnessed what happened. You witnessed him going down. You saw the blood. You saw the Secret Service gather around him. You saw them escort him to the truck, and then you saw him leave. So if you're being intellectually honest and you're not, trying to, because listen, Donald Trump survives an assassin attempt. That's just way too pro-Trump. And that's not what you want. But if you were to be intellectually honest with your boss, you wouldn't say, hey, you know what? I'm here at hey, John, my boss, I'm here at the Trump deal in Butler, Pennsylvania. And there were some loud sounds and they took him off the stage. Well, there's no way if you were at that event that you could describe what happened as that.
But no one's stupid enough to believe the headlines like when from USA Today or CNN about Trump falling or being rushed off stage because of loud noises.
But hold on, buddy. Those are two very trusted sources. USA Today and CNN, regardless of their political position of who they like and don't like, if you're just going to intellectually be honest and report the news on what transpired, you just can't downplay. Well, it's CNN and it's USA Today, and they tend to lean liberal. Don't you want the factual news?
I get the factual news. Like I don't know. I guess I'm different. I don't rely on those places to get the news. I mean, to me, I talked to Erica yesterday when I got here, and she said Trump got shot. And then I went to Twitter and I saw a video of Trump getting shot. So I mean, I don't know. I wasn't looking for CNN or anything. I understand they're the media, the lamestream media. Everything's a lie. I get that, but for me, I don't go to those sources at all.
I know, but you are not the average person.
Okay.
The average Jane, my Janie Cakes, or your mother, or anybody else that consumes news, they go to these sources for the news. I mean, they're credible news sources. They're not, Jimmy's, newsstand. These are two reputable news services that have been around for 40 years plus. And if they can't if they're playing politics, let me just say this right now. This is not the time to be playing bipartisan politics. This is not the time for CNN. And I give CNN a lot of credit later on down the stream, 8, 9, 10 o'clock as I'm watching CNN. They're not making it a Johnny rah-rah for Trump, but they're giving me the hard statistics as to how this went down, which I appreciate. They obviously somewhere along the line knew they had to switch gears and couldn't call it, 3 after 4 loud pops, the president seemed to, leave. There was so much data out now that if you continue to start saying, just continue that stuff, you're going to look stupid.
Right.
You gotta eventually the jig's up.
So it's just like, how long did those, stupid headlines last?
God, but it's just like, even why would you play politics? I love a great deal just as much as the next guy, but I'm not going to crawl through a bed of hot coals or go out of my way just to save a few bucks. And if I am, man, it's got to be easy. No hoops, no BS. So when Mint Mobile says it's easy to get wireless for $15 a month with the purchase of a 3-month plan, I'm going to call them out on it. Turns out It's really that easy. It's that easy to get wireless for $15 a month. The longest part of the process was the time I spent on hold waiting to break up with my old provider. That's a nightmare. Wish everything was as easy as Mint. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk-to-text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. You can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your old phone number with you, along with all of your existing contacts. To get this new customer offer with your 3-month premium wireless plan for only $15 a month, you must go to mintmobile.com/Bubba. That's mintmobile.com/BUBBA. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Bubba. $45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speed slower on 40 gigabytes on unlimited plans. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details.
Want to teach your kids financial literacy, but not sure where to start? Greenlight can help. With Greenlight, parents can keep an eye on kids' spending and saving, while kids and teens use a card of their own to build money confidence. As a parent, you can send instant money transfers, set up chores, automate allowance, and more. It's a convenient way to run your household, customized to your family's needs, and the easy way to raise financially smart kids. Get started with Greenlight today and get your first month free at greenlight.com/Wondery.
When something, listen, I want everybody to understand that if this was Joe Biden, I would be just as fucking mad if Fox News says 5 loud pops and Joe's escorted off the stage when clearly every piece of audio from every cell phone that was there showed blood and a hole in his ear.
Oh, wait, for the photographers, I mean, since they clearly weren't ducking and covering, do we give them props for getting these iconic photos, or do we think that they're fucking idiots who should have put down their camera and started running?
No, I mean, I think there's a combination of both there,
just
to be
making
honest
sure.
with you. I mean,
the photos are beautiful. I get it, but man, what the fuck? Like, they're in mid covering up Donald Trump like they were shooting.
I know. I mean, it's just a part of being, but can you imagine what, we're talking about clicks. I mean, those are to get you some clicks, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know how you get paid off that, but, either way.
Instantly what went down. In fact, many in attendance were trying to alert the police and Secret Service that they saw a gunman on the roof.
This is where I'm also real fucking mad, because this isn't hearsay. I think we all can agree that there's plenty of footage now of people that were trying to get local police authorities and Secret Service people.
Could cops confirm? Confirm that?
They've confirmed
they did
that about a minute or two prior to the first series of shots that there were people that actually videotaped themselves trying to tell somebody there's a guy on top of that building with a gun.
Which is fucking wild for somebody to spot that.
So wouldn't that be kind of a dereliction of duty, so to speak?
Absolutely. That's why I saw the interviews with everybody, and they were saying, I was trying to tell somebody, and I just didn't know if there was I know that the Secret Service is going to go, yeah, somebody told us, but I was wondering if the cops could say, yeah, somebody alerted us, and we were looking around.
Yeah. So I think,
but again, that's got to be out of the cops' hands, right? I mean,
I don't know. I mean, I think you fucking climb up that ladder and address the situation. Here, let's see here.
Just across the field before he started shooting.
And that's a little bit. He's going down!
On the roof, he's got a gun. That was before he fired the first shot.
Stay under here.
That's Secret Service responding. Of course, there are a lot of questions about how this could possibly happen. How could Secret Service not secure the roof of a building just a few hundred feet away, in direct line of sight of President Trump on the stage? How could they not have noticed the gunman was climbing up on there and getting himself into position?
Now, again, from my 25-year-plus veteran Secret Service agent, he's the one, Seth, that sent me this article because he felt as if this guy summarized everything potentially we're going to talk about all in one little 9-minute clip. And so far, I think he has.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the other thing I just got, and I don't know it to be true, and we might be the first people to report this.
They had to take his ear all the way off?
No.
Oh.
I'm getting reports from that Secret Service agent that the guy that killed the bad guy,
Yeah.
the counter sniper shooter, had him locked and sighted for 3 minutes and was radioing and was told to stand down and not shoot.
Oh, that makes sense.
Now, hold on. And took it upon himself to kill the guy and was arrested, questioned by the FBI, and has already lost his job.
Shut the fuck up.
That's what I... Look, let me show you.
No, I believe...
But I'm going to show you. That's the report that my buddy got that's... Now, now, Seth, if that's the case, I don't even know what the fuck to do. Can I read it to you?
Well, people are...
Can I read it to you?
Yeah.
I didn't follow the orders, though. As soon as the shooter opened on Trump, I returned fire, despite strict orders not to engage. I had eyes on the shooter for 3 minutes, watching him fiddle with his rifle and adjust the scope. It was obviously he was a shooter, yet I wasn't allowed to engage. After I killed the shooter, I was arrested, questioned by the FBI, and released an hour ago. I've lost my job for not following orders, but I'm glad I took the shots anyway. Now, again, my Secret Service my Secret Service agent tells me he doesn't know how valid this is, but this is what's circulating around his little Secret Service, former Secret Service alumni chat groups. That's what's being said right now.
Well, I feel like...
Now, if that's the case, so I don't even know. I mean, I guess you got to find out who's the person that told him to stand down. Who's that guy or woman? And I would predict that the director of the CEI could get arrested or charged with the crime. I mean, this gets, the fuckery intensifies times 10 by every waking hour, doesn't it?
Well, we don't know the truth at all. A lot of people were saying this man should be fired because he didn't kill the fucking sniper before he started shooting.
That's what I'm saying.
But now we're seeing a story of he got fired because he did kill the guy. It's just man, we gotta wait.
And here's my thing: if you just start at the absolutely fundamental part of the problem, and that is, how did the guy get even in position to be there? Well, supposedly they had, if you are platinum level, we're calling it platinum level
security. Yeah.
Yeah. You get the drone, you get area surveillance, helicopters, and Donald Trump has not been afforded that for his last however many outdoor functions. And maybe like you say, like what you said earlier off air, I think before we started, maybe Donald Trump now just does all indoor stuff where it's more controlled.
Well, that's what I kind of was referencing Joe Biden when she came into town and she did, a small venue. And I get it. She's not going to pack Amalie Arena. But, it could be for a safety thing. Yeah. I mean, it's very... The times right now are probably, more tumultuous than ever as far as politics go, unless you're talking about, some sort of time before I was born. So I think all of these people should have double the protection. And yeah, Trump is...
And give Kennedy some too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think Kennedy wants it, though.
No, he does want it.
He does want it?
I saw him last night on Fox, and he was like, I've asked, for 5 months now since, I've declared it my candidacy. And, let's not forget, yes, I am the little known third party candidate, but my last name tends to bring attention to people that like to kill people. That's what he said. I mean, just think about it. His uncle and his father were both assassinated while running for while seeking re-election or to be the president.
No, I think.
Did you know he was 14 years old and with his father the day his dad got killed in California? I didn't know that.
No.
He was 14 and with his dad on the campaign trail when he had to, and he was in the hotel when his dad got killed.
Man.
Yeah, that'd be tough. That guy, you know what? At least give him the bronze package.
Please,
right?
please.
How could they
Something.
not quickly alert Secret Service and pull President Trump off the stage as soon as multiple people
Now,
start?
again, this guy here, I don't know who this dude is, but this story is a guy that kind of summarizes the whole event. And this was given or suggested to me by a former Secret Service agent of 25 years. If I was going to play something, this best summarized what he feels happens.
Started reporting and screaming that there was a gunman that they saw on the roof right next door. So understandably, a lot of people think that there was some kind of a conspiracy involved here, either looking the other way and allowing it to happen.
See, and that's what I came hard out. That's what I came hard with. And then I think this guy kind of utilizes that a little bit, but gives a better explanation.
Having a hand in it somehow. But there might actually be a much simpler explanation. Instead of a conspiracy, it looks like it was diversity.
To expand hiring, they're aiming to have 30% women recruits by 2030, and even allowed YouTube influencer Michelle Carre to train with agents.
But I'm very conscious
This is the head of the Secret Service, by the way.
as I sit in this chair now, of making sure that we need to attract diverse candidates and ensure that we are developing and giving opportunities to everybody in our workforce.
Listen, if there's one fucking agency that you need to have the baddest ass motherfuckers in, and it doesn't, and you can throw DEI and diversity and black and women and like, and you just want the most baddest ass qualified people, it's the people that are in charge of protecting our president. Like, I don't need 6 black girls, 4 Latinos, and 2 quadriplegics so that my DEI numbers look a little bit better if I'm the fucking Secret Service. Be any other agency you want. I don't give a fuck. But not Secret Service.
We're not blaming just the women agents yesterday for what happened, right?
But the I mean, they've had a 48% turnover rate amongst people that are qualified and are veterans of this agency. They're leaving. You know, the qualified people, the guys that I know are leaving and retiring out because it's such a shit show of unqualified people. Unqualified people to meet DEI standards. Diversity, like this guy said. I want to say Bubba the Love Sponge knee-jerks and says this is an inside job, the weaponization of the government. Nope, this guy further refines that and says, no, we've done it to ourselves. We think that everything has to be diversified. Everything has to be fucking woke. Everything's got to be fair. What's next? We're going to have some of these Venezuelan immigrants be part of Secret Service?
Ooh.
I mean, they are pretty handy with a gun, I heard. Right?
Oh, boy.
particularly women.
Obviously, it doesn't take a genius to see how this policy was going to turn out. Take a look at these 3 stooges, just bumbling idiots getting in the way of the actual Secret Service. We need more diversity in the Secret Service.
This woman cannot holster her gun.
They said this one doesn't even know how to hold a gun. We need more women in the Secret Service.
And this one girl, if you watch this girl right here, she puts her sunglasses on so she can be cool. Watch.
They said diversity is obviously our strength. This seems like a Saturday Night Live skit, if Saturday Night Live was still funny. Of course, these women won't be fired. The only reason this happened, they'll say, is because they didn't initiate their diversity agenda enough. They implemented too little diversity. Everyone with a brain knew that this was likely coming, and certainly no surprise, because the liberal media and the Marxist Democrats have been trying to incite a lunatic into doing this for many years now. But when you point that out, then you get called a conspiracy theorist, like Tucker Carlson did, who they said stoked conspiracy theories when he pointed out the obvious. And instead of being mad at themselves, at their industry, at their political pundits, at the Democrat Party for spewing the most vile and toxic rhetoric ever seen on planet Earth, equating Donald Trump with Hitler, with a dictator who's going to destroy America and needs to be stopped by any means necessary. They, of course, are mad at Donald Trump.
I do want to say there was one thing that...
No, this is CNN. CNN actually said this. They're mad at Donald Trump. They're mad at him. Listen.
When I watched the tape, I found odd because of all of the heated rhetoric. And that is that...
That the liberal media didn't apologize for inciting this attack?
After he was hit, former President Trump got up and said, fight, fight, fight. I think what we're hearing from people is that's not the message that we want to be sending right now. We want to tamp it down.
Yes.
Yeah, we want to tamp it down.
Donald Trump.
I mean,
Bubba, do you think he had? There's a lot of people that are saying it's a Vince McMahon production and that he cut himself when the Secret Service had him under, and that he came up and like saying fight, fight, fight. I mean, to pull that out of nowhere after you've just been shot's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean.
I don't know.
Another person I was watching on CNN says this guy does not report this, but this guy, the woman from CNN, she actually kind of nailed it. She's like, "Listen, we can say what we want about this, what had happened, but I do give it to Donald Trump. He's been on television for so many years. He is such a good showman." That once he figured out that his head wasn't blown off and that they just grazed his ear, which he could, you saw him quickly grab his ear. You saw that. And he said
that moment when you realize half your head isn't blown off, do you get a boner?
Yeah, I think you do. And if you have an ounce of showbiz in yourself, and you stand up,
you take that fucking ear on tour.
Your head's not blown off, right?
Yeah.
You got your bearings about yourself. And you then turn to the crowd and you do give them that photo op that probably will live. And I saw another article that says, the George Washington crossing the Delaware River. Martin Luther King, I Had a Dream, Abraham Lincoln's Gettysburg Address, JFK, Ask What You Done for Your Country. This will go down. The picture of him with his fist up, blood on his face.
That's going to be
with the American flag behind him is going to be the thing that even your daughter will grow up with, knowing like that picture will be an iconic piece of American history for the rest of our history of our country.
No, it's like that Stamkos goal that they have hanging up.
I mean, if you were going to put the hockey deal on there, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, it was just
Stammer plays 39 seconds after tweaking his deal, scores a quickie, and then fucking drops the mic.
Yeah, and you know what? I would love to see a picture of the photographers when they were taking these pictures. I just want to know what position they were in as shots were ringing down. But no, I mean, Trump looks like a badass. America looks like a badass after how we've looked over the past couple of years. So I think it's overall though, Bubba. Outside of that moment of Trump getting back up, when you say it's like a Republican, Democrat, all this stuff, people are politicizing it. I think it's an embarrass. Hello?
You there?
No. Am I back
here
on?
We go. There we go. I hit a button. I'm sorry.
All right. I just feel like it's embarrassing for the whole country that this is happening.
It really, really, really is. I mean, how about the 96? And my Secret Service guy also said, the 96,000 armed IRS agents that Joe Biden put in place, which was highly publicized. Why couldn't we have put those into the Secret Service and stop worrying about shaking Americans down for their taxes and start worrying about protecting our commander-in-chief? Now, let's not forget.
They armed the IRS?
Yes.
Oh, fuck.
Each local IRS agency now has a SWAT unit.
I got to start claiming everything now. Shit, fuck.
No, but so you're right. It is regardless of who's in office. And regardless of who's running against whomever is in office.
Biden's been bumbling around. I mean, just imagine if you're paying attention from other countries, which I'm sure people do. Biden's bumbling around. Everybody's been focusing on that. Oh, and by the way, the other guy that's running against him, he almost got assassinated. So we have an almost dead guy versus another almost dead guy. Right. I mean, it's just, I don't even fucking know, man. Like,
Trump needs to tamp down the rhetoric because his funny nicknames for his opponents just hurt too many people's feelings. Not mainstream media outlets like the Washington Post, which says Yes, it's okay to compare Trump to Hitler. Or old Joe says that Donald Trump is a genuine threat to this nation. He's a threat to our freedom. He's a threat to our democracy. He's literally a threat to everything that America stands for.
Now, I'm not blaming anybody here, but if you're a 20-year-old nut job and you're reading this stuff, it probably starts to resonate a little bit.
We don't know this guy. We don't know anything about the guy's motives.
No, we don't.
He was a Republican, wasn't he?
I guess, but I mean, there's plenty. There's plenty of Republicans who hate Donald Trump.
It certainly is an insane.
These are Democratic leaders saying this about Donald Trump, and if you're a 20-year-old kook job, this might start to resonate with you.
And unhinged political ranting from the Democrats, which they're using as information warfare, again, hoping to incite just this kind of event. Lunatic rantings like this.
Just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country, and maybe there will be.
People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator.
There needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
Enemies of the state.
Show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
When they go low, we kick them.
How do you resist the temptation to run up and wring her neck?
The biggest terror threat in this country is white men, most of them radicalized to the right.
I thought he should have punched him in the face. I said, even if you lost, he insulted your wife.
Yes.
He came down the escalator and called Mexicans rapists and murderers. He said, well, what do you think I should have done? I said, I think you should have punched him in the face and then gotten out of the race. You would have been a hero.
I'd like to punch him in the face. I said if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
Punch some people in the face.
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
Here's the supposed president of the United States, Joe Biden, 2 hours after the attempted assassination.
Now, see, I thought this was a bad look. I did.
What? What's that?
When you've not seen this?
No.
This is when
But
Joe Biden went and did a little quickie press deal as to what just happened.
Somebody said Kim Jong-un sent a get well video before Biden did.
Probably. That's fun. That's fun.
She's like my little buddy.
You get better, my friend. You can always come over here for protection.
You come here.
I protect. I have never had people. If they do not clap hard enough for me, I shoot them. Nobody has gun here.
I give you Wi-Fi and electricity. I love you so much.
Yes, and all the protection you need.
I don't know.
If you walk somewhere and they're not clapping hard enough, we kill them. Did you know that that's the truth?
Yes, I do.
Like
I know
if you're
that.
at an event and you're not just going absolutely fucking crazy, like, oh my God, fucking Kim Jong-un, oh, they just fucking come shoot you.
Yes,
no, you're just like.
His whole lineage has been fucking like that. It's that's why it's more terrifying than Putin.
So if you and I are sitting there and we're the smartasses that we are, and we're sitting there and being like, look at this, we got this fucking guy up here again. Jesus, bam, we got bullets in the back of our heads.
So what was the bad look with Bides here?
There you go. This is his first addressing of the media after it happened. Now, at the end of the day, who is in charge of the Secret Service?
He is?
He is. Commander-in-Chief. He's in charge of every government agency.
And it did happen between the hours of 8 and 4.
Yeah. It did happen in his sweet spot, so to speak,
yeah,
right?
I think so.
So we're still in a sweet spot. He should be fully coherent. And you don't think if there's probably one individual in the entire world that is, well, other than maybe the Secret Service director, but this Joe Biden knows exactly what happened, right? I mean, how can you?
Well, I'm sure he knows more than we do at this point, right?
I think he knows more than this.
Nation still not having any idea what the hell happened, even though his handlers put him out for a statement in front of the nation.
President, do you think it was an assassination attempt?
I don't know enough to. I have an opinion, but I don't have any facts. So I want to make sure we have all the facts before I make any more comments. Thank you.
Are you worried about
I mean,
wait, is that all he said?
That's all he said.
No.
Yes. Look.
We had enough facts.
That's all he says. We do know this. In the most in the
That's
most,
the best he's looked and sounded in a while. Though.
True,
That was good.
because it was a very short statement.
17-second spurts.
With no rebuttal.
Yeah.
Just say it and Joe, say it and leave.
He
okay?
faced them, too. He pretty much just put his little wrinkly beanbag out there and said, I got opinions, but you're not hearing them.
After the attempted assassination, still not having any idea what the hell happened, even though his handlers put him out for a statement in front of the nation.
Mr. President, do you think there was an assassination attempt?
I don't know enough. I have an opinion, but I don't have any facts. So I want to make sure we have all the facts before I make any more comments. Thank you.
Are you worried, President?
All right, so
no thoughts and prayers?
Yeah,
I mean, I know they did that bullshit online, but
here's what you do know. Here's what he did know. This is at 8:15. Now you've already left the castle at this point. And you and I rode over on an Uber, and we knew what fucking happened. We at least had it roughed into the point where somebody shot at Trump and grazed his ear. We knew that.
Yes.
That's it. You could at least talk about being disrespectful. You have your opinion, but you don't want to get... Motherfucker, you're our leader.
But they did Bubba. He would have got flapped up, man. If they asked him anything, like if they go, hey, what do you think about the Secret Service, person that you put in charge and their DEI initiative? I mean, he would have been, and he's in Delaware. Like he would have been absolutely destroyed having to explain that stuff on the fly. So
I really see it your way in the fact that short and sweet, Joe, here's what you say. Don't linger like you do and get them, because the media always tricks you and gets you to say something when you're shuffling off. Just say it and go.
Because he put out something, I think Obama put something out on Twitter first, but Biden,
it's kind of bad when Obama beats the current president.
Yeah, and Biden's team does a lot of tweeting. Like I believe there were a couple of positive messages for Trump off Biden, but that's where he's going now with social media because he can't deliver it, face to face anymore.
Right. So he just lets Brock do it for him. He should just give the login to Brock and let Brock run it. Don't you think?
Oh yeah, no, Brock had that fire.
Hold on, Brock's a communicating motherfucker. Like he's smooth as shit.
I think he likes to run his own Twitter too.
I know.
And I think you're finally able. Remember back in the day, Obama got in trouble because he favorited some sort of porno from Sarah J, the porno star. People were giving a lot of hell for that. Well, now you can't see what people like. So now if Obama wants to like an ass on Twitter, nobody's in his fucking business.
Nobody knows any different.
That's right.
So if I'm President Joe, Brock, yes, can you start running the Twitter account for the president? Because I'm sure you can do it a hell of a lot better than me. You're a smooth motherfucker. Can you start doing my press conferences for me?
Oh man.
We had enough facts to determine what happened within 5 seconds, but they couldn't come to grips for a few hours and finally admit to themselves what it was that they caused. Others, however, quickly took to TikTok to express their disappointment that the attempted assassination was unsuccessful, like this lunatic.
You're telling me somebody finally had the balls to bring a pew-pew?
A pew-pew, she said, because the kids on TikTok use substitute words so that their videos...
See, this is the stuff that sickens me. No matter how much you
just a kid.
Yeah, but still.
I know,
you
Bubba,
got doctors and a woman from the Seattle Times.
I know. Those people are going to have their lives ruined, man. The people that said aim better. I mean, it's not going to be pleasant.
Don't get flagged and taken down for inciting violence. So obviously, she's talking about a gun.
And he missed! We were a second away! We were a centimeter away from half of the problem being gone, and you missed!
There are plenty more videos just like this, but I'll spare you any more cringe. And miraculously, some of the meme makers were able to bring light to the situation, coming up with gems like this. Someone shot my vice president? And this one, Joe, we missed. And this.
And that shows Hillary calling Joe.
Yeah. Trump versus a bullet. Biden versus stairs. And this is the first video of Donald Trump after being released from the hospital, exiting his jet.
Yeah, I've not seen this.
Oh, I haven't either.
Yeah, this is him leaving. This is him arriving in Mar-a-Lago.
What hospital did they take? Like somewhere in Philadelphia or somewhere in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, somewhere in that little Butler, and he required. I guess he got stitches.
presumably back in Florida at Mar-a-Lago. Obviously, after having received some
I mean, what a tough fucking day, right? You've been shot at. You got a hole in your ear. You got and listen,
there's reports he was going to like a UFC fight. He was supposed
to go to UFC last night.
They told him to chill.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and then listen, as a 70-year-old man, I mean, I know I'm 58. If I had 5 Secret Service agents just tackle me down to the ground and lay on me, I'm gonna feel like I went to the gym for 5 straight days. Yeah. I'm gonna be sore as fuck.
Oh
right?
yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, Seth, if me,
some people like a good dog pile.
I know, but if me and Lummy and Macho Man and like we just threw you down to the ground and laid on top of you for like 2 or 3 minutes, you'd be sore as hell.
Okay, well, I mean, Bubba, you can't throw yourself in there. I mean,
itches on his ear. But other than that, thank God, unscathed. We're not in Kansas anymore. We're not in America anymore. We're in a banana republic, a third world country. There is a good chance that if Donald Trump wins, we could maybe restore some semblance of normalcy. But as I've been saying, these next 4 months are going to be a bumpy road, so you better buckle up.
All right. So this guy, obviously, is a Trumper, but I thought
he gave a lot of good info. Had good clips.
He did have some good. He did have some good info. Here are some various pieces of media that I found that people probably. I mean, the Democrats probably wish weren't around. Of asking people to hurt Donald Trump.
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
I mean, when you're an impressionable, mental, mentally unstable person, and you're hearing this, let me see.
I hear mixed. Some people are saying.
By the way, Nancy Pelosi here.
I hear.
And do you notice that both of these sound bites come from MSNBC? They seem to be the propaganda of wanting to hurt people the most.
I don't even know where to get that channel.
Mixed. Some people are saying because Donald Trump is such an authoritarian.
She wanted to say asshole. She did. And I'd be fine with that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
He's such an asshole.
Such an authoritarian. An autocrat, we have to win this election. This is not a normal election where you want to win. If you don't, you cooperate and do the best you can for the country and hope to win the next time. This is something that is undermining our democracy, and he must be stopped. He cannot be president.
All right, so just a few more clips before, and then I'm done.
Yeah, we're done. I think we've covered it all.
To expand hiring, they're aiming to have 30%.
Here's an article on.
Did you play this already?
No. This I did not play.
Oh,
this.
he had. Bubba, he had this in his story. That guy.
Was it? No, but it wasn't. It wasn't.
Okay, go ahead.
He had a clip of it.
Okay,
he had a clip of it. He didn't have the departure rate.
Okay.
Of current. Here we go.
To expand hiring, they're aiming to have 30% women recruits by 2030, and even allowed YouTube influencer Michelle
We did see this.
to train with agents.
But I'm very conscious as I sit in this chair now of making sure that we need to.
He clipped it, so we're going to see what he clipped.
Attract diverse candidates and ensure that we are developing and giving opportunities to everybody in our workforce, and particularly women.
That workforce will be pivotal for the 2024 campaign season, which for the first time includes a former president who already has lifetime protection. Agents were there when Donald Trump was arraigned in New York.
We were able to work out the details ahead of time of how that particular day was going to go, but we will always ensure the safety of all of our protectees that we have.
The service has a zero-fail mission, a mission officers are training to uphold, pretending this field is the most famous address in America.
I don't know. I don't know that
maybe they were just. That's just where they I don't know, protect themselves. I don't fucking know.
Maybe that was. Yeah. So
do you think? Man, I was gonna say. Now that we saw the Secret Service in action, I'm wondering which are the guys that would have had to stay with him in jail if he had to go there.
And hey,
they probably would have sent the 2 women in there.
Listen, we're diversifying the Secret Service so much that we're actually got a new division where we're training people how to live in jail with the president. And so, that's about as diversified as you can fucking get.
Those people are probably going, would I rather take a bullet for Trump or sit in jail with Trump for a couple of months? I don't fucking know.
But that would really suck. Dude,
unless our Secret Service, I hope they're getting paid millions a year, man, because that's I mean, that's just you're just me throwing yourself in front of a very important person, but you're.
So what's I've pretty much hogged up the majority of the time here. I haven't really just sent it over to you and for you to give me your opinion on this. Because I have at first I was tweeting last night that this is an insider job. I think this is the weaponization of the government, et cetera, et cetera. And it still may be a portion of that via the defunding of Trump's detail, not allowing him to have the same type of protection that our current president does, not treating him as an incumbent or a former president, but just a person that's running against, as just an opponent. And that there was, whether by design or just by pure failure to do their job, that this was, a really, really, really bad situation. Now it's been exasperated by, I don't know if that's the correct word or not, but, now
exacerbated.
We're getting this stuff of, where the guy that supposedly took the shot was arrested. And he was told to stand down, and he had, as I read earlier, that in this podcast, that he had directions. He had the guy scoped up for 3 minutes, and was told to stand down and not shoot him. And then, upon killing the assassin, he was arrested, questioned by the FBI, and released, and has already lost his job. So, I've thrown out all of that. My opinions and what I think. What do you think? Well, let me shut my fat mouth and let you break this down.
Oh, I don't have a lot to break down, Bubba. I am kind of just waiting for more information to come out. I think, it was a tough scene to see. It's embarrassing as a country. I am really, really fascinated to know about this kid's motives. And it's going to be something probably like he didn't like The fucking Apprentice or something like that. I mean, it's going to be. I mean, it's not going to be like this kid didn't like the presidency. He's 20 years old. I don't know, Bubba, but I want to learn more about the kid. But I'm not focusing so much on the DEI hirings. It's okay, former President Trump trying to run, he got fucking shot, and there's some weirdo who shot him. We don't know why, and there's a lot of stuff that's going on in between that we still need answers for. So I'm not jumping to any conclusions, but what I'm most fascinated in right now is the background on this kid that did that, and how he was able to get into position and do all of it. I don't know if there's witnesses or cameras, but I would like to figure out, somebody tell me how he got there.
And since you asked that question,
is that cool? I mean,
And since you asked that question, I think I'd like to end this emergency breaking news podcast with something that just got sent to me. This is from my, again, I have a retired Secret Service source. And he, Seth has helped me decipher some of the news pieces that have come down and said, this one makes sense, this one makes sense, and this is the final one. And he, by the way, he knows that I'm doing a podcast right now. He knows I'm on the air, and you'll probably download this later. But he just sent me a text and said, I know that you're in the middle of recording something, but I think that if you would want to end whatever you're doing today, this is probably the best synopsis of what being from the Secret Service, my source, he feels this is potentially the best source and the closest to maybe what really happened. And that's Dan Bonagino. Last night was on Fox. Now, if you know anything about Dan Bonagino, he's a conservative African. Is he an African American?
Oh man, I'm not. I can't. I can't tell, Bubba.
I mean, but
looks tan.
Dan Bonagino was I think in the Secret Service for 13 years, and he now has one of the most successful conservative talk shows in America. He's very well regarded and very well. I mean, he's very popular.
Is he? He doesn't sound like he's Alex Stein.
But he breaks down his opinion as to what happened here. And I think this is even better than the guy that we played just a few minutes ago, because this guy is a talk show host. and again, a former Secret Service agent that gets into some really, really, really code words and some details as to what happened yesterday. And I'd like to end this podcast with this particular news clip from Fox last night. Dan Bongino, famous talk show host, former Secret Service of 13 years, who still speaks to and has it. Like I have a source, Seth. This guy has multiple sources that still work for the Secret Service.
Yeah, that's true.
My source is a retired Secret Service guy, who just is giving his opinion.
My source is Twitter, and it's a guy who says he's a former Secret Service guy.
Who's dressed up like a furry?
Yeah, and he's giving me all the right info, Bubba. And trust me, come tomorrow,
you're going to have it?
I'm going to have it all.
The whole 9 yards.
I'll be able to lay it out before Biden figures out what's happening.
Hell yeah. Well, you already have. I mean,
Your thoughts on this, Dan? Just
So Dan Bongino, man, this I've seen this. I watched this before I came down here today, but I sent it to my guy, Seth, for him to watch and to ask him if I should end the show with this, and he just got it back to me and said yes.
Okay.
This is the best summary potentially of what happened from an expert. And that is a guy that's a talk show host and has current, I'm sure Dan Bongino spoke to people that were there. He's only 3 or 4 years removed from the Secret Service, and he, because he's a big time talk show host, still has people in place that he can get intel from.
Let it rip, baby.
Here it goes.
Dan, just continue where you left off on the reaction here.
So, again, open security questions right now. And this is why, again, I think the Secret Service, the PR, Anthony Guglielmi, has to be very careful about what they put out. He says in his X post, and you can read it yourself, you don't need to hear it from me, that they deployed these extra resources and technology. Okay, well, which ones? You're telling me the best technology you have was deployed and you missed a shooter 130 yards? Say it was 200 yards. The Secret Service CS team, Pete, the counter sniper teams, and I'm not sure those two guys are Secret Service. We have to remember that we don't always... When we go to New York sometimes with high-level protectees, we'll use NYPD ESU counter sniper. So I'm not really sure either way, they'd still be briefed in. The question we have to ask is, if that's the best technology...
So now, it leads me to believe, Seth, that maybe the counter sniper team, that the guy that we just got the excerpt from that said he'd been fired... I think that if you're a Secret Service sniper, you're not fired. But if you're an agency sniper from the local Butler County yippee-yo, that maybe you are fired because you didn't listen to Secret Service orders.
Possibly.
Yeah. So maybe that leads credence to what we talked about earlier.
We had a CS team up there with a shooter that, we're trained out to 1,000 yards in the Secret Service with the counter sniper team. How did they miss someone at most, 1/5 of the way there? It doesn't make any sense. And even worse, it's broad daylight on a white roof. So, again, open questions here. Was there forward-looking infrared deployed? Was there aerial support, drones, helicopters? Something happened, too. If you go back and listen to the audio, I want you to listen to this after I get off here. When Donald Trump, after this tragic thing happens, you'll see the Secret Service agents. And, by the way, I know some of those guys personally. It takes a lot to run into bullets, divorcing the security failure. So at least they did that part, correctly, and they knew what they were doing after the security absolutely failed. But you're going to hear something if you listen closely.
See, this guy really breaks it down, and stuff that we don't know, he knows, and he tells us right here. Listen.
The guy mentions Hawkeye on the scene. He's talking about those two, the black BDU with the tactical gear cat element, that two-man cat element.
Now, see, and Seth, all the footage you've seen, remember a little bit later on, those two guys come both sides of the stage. I guess that's considered Hawkeye.
Okay.
Have you seen that footage where the two guys come?
Yeah.
No, that's Hawkeye.
Okay.
So, and Bongino knows that. We did. I didn't know who the fuck Hawkeye was. I thought they were talking about Iowa.
That stands for Counter Assault Team. That's a Secret Service Special Weapons Team, equivalent to our SWAT. So they're there. They all deployed and did what had to be. That the bunting around the front of the stage is probably armor. Donald Trump knew to duck. I mean, most people would. He saved his own life. That's just a fact. The evacuation did not go right. I mean, the rule with the Secret Service is cover the protectee and evacuate. The other rule is maximum to the protectee, minimum to the problem. Why minimum to the problem?
He breaks it down like nobody's breaking it down like this. So maximum to the protectee, which is the president, and then minimal to the problem. And you're thinking, well, why would you do that? He explains it. Listen.
Because you don't know that's the only problem. It could be a distraction. There could be another person in the crowd. So if you don't jump on the protectee, you could be looking at multiple shooters. So it
makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
That part, the guys there, stepped up there. But the failure here is absolutely catastrophic. And I got to tell you, the Secret Service should be very careful. I can tell you and absolutely confirm from the horse's mouth, from multiple people, not just one. And I saw Congressman Waltz text this out before on X. There have been repeated requests to increase the security footprint around not just the residences of Donald Trump, but the body itself. And they have been rebuffed. Like I said, I can tell you actual quotes. The Secret Service directors completely failed and candidly should resign today. Kim Cheadle has failed Donald Trump and honestly failed Joe Biden, too. He's the president right now. Where's the DHS secretary? I mean, this is you're blaming it on manpower? So just to be clear, we're a $4 trillion United States government, and we can't fork over enough money to keep our people alive? And then you're sending out tweets like, oh, this is the best technology we have. Really? To let a sniper 150 yards away from the potential next president shoot a piece of his ear off? Pfft, that's your victory lap? Give me a break, man.
Dan, I mean, you bring up so many amazing points, and I just don't even know where to begin except to ask you, why would the Secret Service not beef up more security for the man who is most likely to be assassinated in the entire world? Why would they not deploy more resources? Why weren't there drones over? Is it that this woman, Kimberly Cheadle, the director, is incompetent? Could there be something else there? What is happening? Is it DEI? What's going on?
Well, Rachel, it's my job, if I'm going to give an opinion, to back it up. Opinions are like holes, right? Everybody has one.
He said assholes.
The difference between one opinion over the other in a courtroom and anywhere else is, can you back it up? I want everyone at home, go on your phone or computer now, and I want you to look up U.S. Secret Service, red ties, Donald Trump. Yeah, read it. The Secret Service was more concerned about protective agents around Donald Trump. If you think I'm making this up, go to a left-wing search engine if you think I'm biased. Go to Scroogle and put it, oh, you're reading a story right now. They were more concerned about the color of the Secret Service agents' ties around Donald Trump, given the perception that a red tie was somehow... I've got red ties. I'm a Republican. It has nothing to do with it. I just like red ties. They go nice with white shirts. That's an actual... Oh, you see it right now. I'm not crazy. This is what the Secret Service was concerned about. They put out, 1,000 tweets about all of this DEI stuff. Do I know that's related here? I don't. I'm just saying, you have one job and only one job. Your job is keep the body alive no matter what. Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Jill Biden, the president of Djibouti, it doesn't matter.
Djibouti.
We got to protect
them. That is your job.
We got to die protecting them?
Yes,
oh,
yeah.
Are they in American territory?
If you signed up for Secret Service.
I mean, no. I'm
Djibouti, buddy. That guy needs protection, Seth.
Only
Jump
NATO,
on him immediately.
Only NATO countries. I only die for NATO countries.
Okay. Resolutely, 100% failed. Not a single excuse should be made. Not a single excuse should be attempted. This should be the subject of congressional hearings and investigations, because if they can't do this, and this is the best technology you had, then, folks, there's no purpose anymore. This isn't the agency I grew up in. It's not. I spent 12 years of my life there, and I'm telling you, I know some of those guys personally. These are good men and women. But this was an apocalyptic security failure. And don't ever forget, an uneventful failure is never a success. And the fact that Donald Trump didn't die yesterday is no reason for anybody to take some kind of victory lap. And before we start sending out plaudits, we better look and do a hot wash on this and find out exactly how abysmal this security plan was.
Well, uniquely, because you also have unique experience, Uniquely, you've been able to tell us today that the failure is on both the ground level and the immediate reaction, the advanced level, and seeing what could potentially be the problem, and at the organizational level in what kind of resources were given to Donald Trump over time. And as we said, you have the experience to know. Dan Bongino, thanks so much for.
So, I mean,
you think it's time that Trump just steps out of the car each time he has a speaking engagement with the Desert Eagle and a motorcycle helmet and be like, "Fucking bring it."
I again want to close the show with, I don't know this to be true, but it was given to me from a pretty reliable source that the person, the sniper that killed the bad guy, was arrested, questioned by the FBI, released, and has now lost his job for not following orders. And he said that, again, earlier in this information that I'm getting, I didn't follow orders though. As soon as the shooter opened up on Trump, I returned fire despite strict orders not to engage. I had eyes on the shooters for 3 minutes, watching him fiddle with his rifle and adjust the scope. It was obvious he was a shooter, yet I wasn't allowed to engage. If that is the case, and this guy isn't killed or can't talk or whatever, I mean, Seth, I think they absolutely have to. The public needs to talk and hear from this guy that shot the bad guy.
Oh, wait, no, they don't. They're not allowed to talk.
So if that's his statement, and that's true, I think the only thing that can cover Joe Biden is that he has to tomorrow. The director of the Secret Service, that Kim Cheadle girl,
Bubba,
is immediately fired.
Bubba,
what?
Trump is going to win. RNC's this week. He's going to come out. He's going to have half a head cast on. He's going to have
half a head.
He's going to have half a head cast. He's going to be all
he's from a Batman movie.
He's going to be all wrapped up with the. He's going to have the bandage. It's still going to have some dry blood on it.
Right. Even if you have to put a few little drops on it in the backstage, right?
Yeah, he's refusing to wash it, and people are going to go fucking crazy. I mean, this. There's nothing good, like this man just said before. There's nothing good, but Trump's going to be, as a guy who compliments give him confidence. Trump seems to be a guy that is going to have his ego highly, highly inflated this week, more so than even before at the RNC.
Whew. There you go. I'm already exhausted. Hopefully, you get this up ASAP.
Yeah, that's the point, man.
We can put like Bubba and Seth. Special edition Seth, whatever, however you want to just really, really make it clickbaity so that people have to listen to it. I mean, really, really emergency Trump assassination breakdown, Clem and Kush.
Okay.
Something.
That's a little wordy, but we can work with it.
Not telling you how to do your job.
Yeah,
All right, lover?
Thank you.
Thank you for, really, honest to God, thank you for coming in, on a Sunday and breaking this down for me. I feel like as if we have nothing to talk about tomorrow.
No, we're good. We're good.
We'll have Pakistani Danny in here.
We got what happened to Building 7.
We may have to put him in a straitjacket over this.
He might come in strapped tomorrow.
Yeah, you never know. Paylan, appreciate you downloading and listening to this. We'll be live Monday morning at 6 o'clock. You know where to find us. Clem and Kush, we're out.